Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey with Real Music. Well, Stryper, they've released a brand new album out today called When We Were Kings. A few singles from that album released so far, and I know that you're excited and you've been wanting to hear the rest of the album. When now you get your chance, you can check it out on YouTube and stream it or buy it or wherever you can get it. But another great album. Michael Sweet always says, this is the best album that we've done, and every time he says that, people are like, is he sincere? Is he really thinking that this is the best album? Well, then they released it, and you're thinking maybe this is the best album because it's really good, and that's the case with this one. How do you top the last album, right? How do you do it? Well, this may be a better album, maybe by a hair, uh, than the last one, which was the Final Battle, released a couple of years ago. But really good album. Going to do my review. Hope you enjoy it and let me know what you think. But I do recommend getting this album when you get a chance and listening to it. It's really good. The song End of Days starts the album off. And there's a heavy riff. This was a single, the first single, and I think I've reviewed it before, but the heavy riff comes in. You got Robert Sweet pounded on the drums, and you can hear Perry's bass. Perry Richardson, he's really playing hard. And on this particular mix, on this album, the bass is really, you know able to be heard, and it sounds very good with what they're doing. So I commend them on the mix on this album. Uh, of course, you got Michael's signature scream on here. And this song is not a standard paint by number kind of a heavy, you know, rock album or even Stryper type song. I mean, not album, but song. Um, it's a different kind of a pattern on the way the chorus goes. But the fact that it's different, I think it adds to it. The lyrics are really good. And if you're a Christian, if you go by the Bible, this really makes you think. Now, if you're not a Christian, it's a solid album, solid rock album. You'll enjoy it either way. But I really think that this song will grab you and make you think about some things. And, it's a really good song. The next song, Unforgivable, it's heavy. There's a crunchy riff. There's a lot of crunchy riffs on this album, and I'm loving the sounds. There's an old school kind of a riff going on. Great solos on this. I love the way they break the song down right before the solo, and then they really go into it. It kind of slows down and goes right into the solo, and the style reminds me of kind of some of the rock, the 80s style, but maybe right before they transitioned into grunge. There's even little tinges of grunge in a lot of these songs, but not so much that you would complain. But the guitar riffs are really crunchy, and this song is really good. Michael's voice is so good, and grittier. I'd say his voice is grittier on this album, and which to me it makes the songs, especially the more rocking songs, sound even heavier. But this song here is a really good one. I think you'll enjoy that. Number three, When We Were Kings, the latest single, and that definitely has a retro sound, that 80s rock ballads kind of sound. It brings back memories, and the video brings back memories of some old clips of the band. I love the harmonies. It's a feel good song. It really takes you back and really makes you think about the way things used to be. And and that's kind of the whole idea, I think, of this song, to reminisce and think about how they've gone from just starting out as a band and going through all the ups and downs, and they're still around. And in some eyes, some people's eyes, they're still kings. They're still doing it. They're still here doing a great job. But that's a great song. Maybe my favorite song on there, maybe probably a tie, I'd say, with some other songs, and I'll talk about those in just a second. Betrayed by Love, the next song. Cool intro. It's got like these strings and acoustic guitar, and you think, where's this song going? It's going to be kind of mellow. And then this heavy guitar comes in, just crunching right away and starts, really choppy. Michael's voice sounds so good on this one. It's a slower song, and the harmonies are cool. Got the 80s sound on this one, too. But there's also that grungy kind of a mix in there, but with a modern sound as the song progresses. It's more of a modern sounding song. I don't know how you could describe it. Maybe a modern rock version. I don't know. It's not the norm for them. But it's really good, and I really do like the song. The next song is Love Symphony, and it was released last month, and it's really crunchy, as a lot of them are. Slower on the chorus, but then it picks up, and the riffs are really strong, and there's double guitars. That's what I like about a lot of these songs. Double guitars on there, with Michael and Oz trading off, and then it go one direction, then really kick up, and they're playing the harmonies on the guitars, and it's just really good. That's what I love about two guitar players that can wail. I'm just saying, it sounds so good. The lyrics on this song are really good, and maybe this album with the lyrics, probably one of the better albums lyrically. I mean, he's really, Michael is really growing, lyrically. Can he do that? Can he get better? Can he grow at this age? I don't know. It's just when you're writing songs and somehow they just get better and better. I think he's done that on this album. I just have to say that. And that makes the song so much better, to listen to. And another thing I've noticed on the songs, they're all averaging, 4 minutes or a little bit longer, right around 4 minutes, 20 seconds average, something like that. And to me, it makes me think that they really tried really hard to be precise on everything, even down to the timing of the songs and the sounds. There's some cool sounds on here. It's not so much the same as normal, but there's a lot of crunch. There's a lot of drums. There's different synthesizer kind of sounds on this that you'll hear. There's more bass added. There's more harmonies on this album that I've heard. But it's really good. But really good song, Love Symphony. And the next song, Trinity, probably I'd say it's tied for my favorite song. It's really heavy. It's a really good song. Of course, going retro again. I mean, I think a lot of these songs have that retro sound. He just throws it back to the 80s, kind of 90s, and then it kind of takes you a different place, but there's always that retro sound kind of lingering around, and you can definitely hear it, but those riffs are really hard, and, I really love them. The vocals are good on the chorus, but I do think a lot of people are going to say that Trinity is their favorite, and it definitely is one of the best songs on there. The next song, Rhyme of Time, another great one. Probably my third favorite on there. And another slow song. The riffs are heavy, but the tempo is slower. And that's the case with a lot of songs on this album. I know in the past, you could look for about half of the songs being fast, heavy riffs and the drums and the fast, and But on this, the riffs are heavy, but a slower tempo. And I'd say that's about on, I'd say about 60% of the songs, maybe, and or more. And that's okay. I mean, I think, whenever the songs are slower, you pay attention more to the vocals. And I think on this album, that's the case. He really worked on these vocals to fit the song in the slower modes, and the lyrics are kind of really focused on, and I think that's the idea. I think the lyrics are deep, and you get a chance to really pay attention to them when the songs are slow, and the way the riffs are set up is not so straightforward. But this song really stands out. This would be another one that people talk about and say they love it. The next song, Raptured. To me, maybe my least favorite on the album. I don't know. It's just not as, I don't know, powerful, I guess you could say, lyrically. An interesting subject. I mean, there's a lot of cool things on this album, as far as lyrically, but like just musically, it's still a good song. It's a great song. It's just not one of my favorites, but it does have a choppy riff. The drums kind of play off of that riff, and it kind of has a shuffle to it, almost like a Aerosmith kind of a thing going on. But great chorus. I mean, really good chorus. But if I was ranking like all the songs on the album, this would probably be like the last. I don't know. But that doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, it's a really good song. But I think people will enjoy this song too because it goes along with the theme. It goes along with the sound. It's different, but it really, is a fun song to listen to. The next song is Grateful. And it was released last month, and the riffs are sounding like the 90s. But, the song itself, as the song goes by, it has that 80s sound, that rock ballad sound, and very powerful. The message in the song really makes you think. I mean, it's really, like I said, the slower songs with the lyrics just hit you really hard and make you think just the way they're set up. I mean, you'll understand when you listen to it. And probably this song is as close to perfect, I think, as you can get for a song. I mean, as far as just lyrically, everything's there. The way they're singing and harmonizing and the playing is there. It's just real tight. Is it the flashiest song? No, it's just. This just sounds like something you'd hear on the radio if they still played songs on the radio. This would be one. It's a really good song. It's one of the better songs, of course, on the album. And, you know, for me and for this album, it seems that the slower songs are the better songs. Not to say I don't like the heavy. I love heavy riffs and fast and crunching, and there's a lot of crunching guitars on here. But it's just the tempo is, a lot slower than normal, which is perfectly okay. The next song is Divided by Design. It's grungy. It's crunchy. In these songs with the riffs, that real, I don't know, I remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, and the riffs with the E chord, that little deep crunch, and that there's quite a few songs on here that have that, and that's good. I mean, I really love that, and it's not as fast, as straightforward as songs you've heard in the past, but that crunch and the way they do the riffs, they're different, but it adds to the song. And to me, the way they play the riffs and the way the songs flow, it's just more listenable, and I think it's more. I don't know. I think it hits you different. I think this album hits you different than some of the previous albums based on how they play these songs. And like I said, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. And the lyrics are just like on this song, the way the lyrics are. I mean, they're not too complicated, but they just Michael Sweet's songwriting, like I said earlier, is just reached a point where you're like, can he do better than this? This is really good. But great song, Divided by Design. The distortion, the chords, the guitar solos, they trade off, on these songs, the solos, and it just makes you smile. And the last song, Imperfect World, it's just the drum intro. I mean, the first thing you hear is Robert Sweet with the drums, and you're like, whoa, the drums are on fire. And throughout this song, he's shining. This is his best moment on a Stryper song, probably one of the best ever, I think, on his playing. His playing and the way it mixes with the song It just sounds so good. And, everybody in this band is just phenomenal. And with all they've been through, with Oz having brain surgery and Michael with his, thyroid cancer and his vocals, you thought, is it going to be the same? And that was the question. You know, I didn't get a chance to interview him in time for the album. Almost did, but maybe I'll get to do it soon. But, last time I talked to him, he was about to have surgery and it was questionable. Would he sing anymore? Would it sound okay? But he went recording right after that surgery last year, and to me, it just sounds just phenomenal. And in Perfect World, though, last song on the album with the drums, like I said, Robert killing it, great vocals and harmonies. I mean, you've got everything on this song, and the guitars, and the bass, and all the sounds. There's vocals. Have a I don't know that not enhancements, I would say, on his vocals to help him, but there's some kind of effect that makes his voice sound cool on here. And with the synthesizers, and they kind of have fun. It sounds like on this, and they trade off on the guitar solos, and probably the one of the best solos on this album. And I think they said some of the best sounds for last. I mean, a complete sound. This song kind of summarizes the whole album as far as lyrically and sonically, and it's really good. So can you compare this to other albums? Can you say that this is better? It's hard to do, but I will say this: it definitely is up there with the last few albums. I mean, if it's not, it's definitely as good as the last 4 or 5 albums. And is it better? It might edge it. It might edge the last albums because of the lyrics, and just that sound is just really good. And it's different, and I think you'll see. But I think you'll enjoy it. So let me know what you think, and enjoy this new album by Stryper. It's really good, and I think everybody will have positive reviews, not just mine, but everybody else will too. That's Stryper, When We Were Kings, out today. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. Always remember to keep the music real.